Okay, guys, part two here. Now it actually gets a little bit interesting because with your Triple H card, you'll also have access to a new type of sort of side deck um, called the Mint Match, which is pretty much a lot of action reversals, maneuvers that you wouldn't have access to. A lot of them have zero fort. A lot of them don't necessarily have it. Some are good reversals, some are bad reversals, and some just help your deck out to get it going. And then they also came out with pre-match cards, which are in purple. And pre-match cards happen before the draw phase, before anything. Your character is shown, and then you start your pre-match, and there's a specific manner to do so. Later on, they got to doing branding cards for the brand split when it first started out. And this one you can see right here is Theodore Long before he went on to SmackDown. It was a Raw card. And Raw logos will also have different benefits too. Pretty much, a card called Premier Raw Superstar would make you, I think, discard, but Premier SmackDown Superstar would actually make you draw. So it had its little mechanics, but as the game progressed later on, it totally just dropped the whole entire Raw SmackDown brand things because everybody was switching over, and it was pretty much screwing over a lot of cards because you had one card was, let's say Triple H had one card in Raw that you liked, but in SmackDown he had this really cool card. So unfortunately, that was the case, and they pretty much changed that up a little bit. They also had I think they also had GMs as well. We had Eric Bischoff and Stephanie McMahon. Paul Heyman later on in a set as well. So a lot of interesting cards here to play at. There's a ton of superstars too from WWF and WWE. You can play as Road Dogg, X-Pac, Billy Gunn. You can play as DX. Randy Orton, John Cena's in there. His old gimmick, not his new one. Triple H, and his variation of that is the game, which is sort of a updated version of it. Christian's in there, Edge is in there, Booker T, Tori Wilson, Lita. You can play anybody. Hardy Boys. There's so many. You can you can also play Right to Censor, and if you know who Right to Censor is, kudos to you. For all the older fans out there, such as myself. But yeah, there's a ton of cards that had a ton of potential, and there's a lot of decks out there that are pretty good. And of course, you got Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit as well. And I like Benoit's decks a lot because it focuses a lot about submissions and other things, which is pretty badass at the time. But definitely a lot of these are older cards. Some of them are a tad newer, but the older cards also have the tenure of having a lot of specific cards, like Triple H, Stone Cold have a lot of cards. The Undertaker has a lot of cards as well. So you can make a whole entire deck based on their foils and how it was. They also had something very interesting too. I just remembered here. They also had hot packs. And hot packs pretty much are, if you get a pack of cards and you open them, and there's like, let's say 12 cards per pack, all 12 cards will be ultra rare cards. Yeah, pretty badass. So the designer of the game and just the designer of the game is awesome. He is still awesome to this day for making hot packs. And I think in some instances they had hot boxes as well. Hot boxes meaning it's a ton of foils inside, just a lot of packs, 24 packs or something like that, or just non-stop ultra rares. So I was lucky to grab about, I think, 2 or 3 hot packs. So I was really glad, and just really excited to know that, oh, here's one foil, here's the second foil. Oh my God, the whole entire pack is foiled. It's just so awesome, and it definitely helps out. It also helps out beginners too. In a way, if they get a hot pack, it's just like trade bait right there. They came out with Survivor Series sets as well. Survivor Series sets basically are for the beginners tripping over my words here because it's so exciting to actually talk about Raw Deal. Not many people know about it too, so I'm just really excited to give people an insight on how the game was, and maybe you can find them online or something like that. But Survivor Series were basically for beginners. It was like the best of sets, and they got a lot of good cards out of it. Once you had one Survivor Series set, that was pretty much it. Um, Another Survivor Series set would be okay, but if you want to get, you know, certain cards from that set, from superstars that you haven't collected, it's a definite welcome to go and try out. And I think Survivor Series 3 here had this whole entire pack here was all foil cards, and had a lot of other reissued cards as well, such as Because I'm That Damn Good, which was about a $30 card, unfortunately put back in circulation in the Rumble packs. The Rumble packs are, there's like a ton of Rumble packs too. They had a ton of superstars. I only got 2 of them, but they had a ton of foils, and definitely great for beginners here. As you can see, Booker T, Torrie Wilson, Edge, and his updated card leader of the Edge Army, which is pretty much almost the same thing, but not exactly. So that's the end of part 2, and we'll be going on to part 3 next time we get an update. So see you at part 3.